Wind Pony's a Voyage 440. That's the boat we're on here today. It's located in Fort Lauderdale at the Catamaran Company's sales dock at Lauderdale Marine Center. The boat's a 3-cabin owner's version, seriously for sale. The couple that owns it has been cruising on this boat since it was new, and they're getting a little bit older now, and they're thinking they would like to retire from sailing and spend some time on shore with their grandchildren. This is a huge cockpit for a 44-foot boat. You have a huge seating area here, lots of table space. This table is also removable. It has some tapered legs that fit in there if you prefer to have the space open. It has a full enclosure. This has clear panels in it. In the back it has sun screens to break the sun at the end of the day, so it's not coming into the cockpit. You've got a nice hardtop bimini all the way around. Forward windscreens to keep the helmsman dry and comfortable even in inclement weather. Here you've got a sliding hatch over the helm, and it's also transparent so you can see the sails from the helm position. Got a nice 2-person seat at the helm. Most of the control lines are led back to this space. Here we've got a new updated Raymarine hybrid touch chart plotter. It also has AIS and radar on it. You've got a ST60 speed and depth, the new ST70 autopilot, and an ST60 wind instrument. These instruments have all been updated on the boat. We also have newer engine control panels. You've got a new VHF here, Raymarine. DCS systems integrated with the rest of the navigation. In the port forward locker, we got a fuel tank, easily accessible if you ever need to service it. Looks like it's full of fuel. Got a windlass here in great shape. Loads of anchor chain, dual fuel filters with selector valves to switch those either on or off. All right, roller furling Genoa forward. It's on a pro-furl furling system. Control lines led back to the helm. You got a rock net anchor here. These are highly desirable in the cruising market. Stainless steel swivel, huge amount of chain. You can see the bridles located here. Trampolines are in great condition. Deck's very clean. Boat shows really well. And you've got these 2 nice forward bow pulpits. So on your standard Voyage 440, you'll have simply just one strut here. There's an option for a little wider passageway here. The owner of this boat, when he had the boat ordered, he got the extra wide passageway. It's very comfortable, easy to walk on, makes for a good firm center position, and you can see it internally routes the chain for the anchor windlass to go to the rock net anchor here on the front. Cover that goes over the front of the mast to protect all the lines from sun and UV damage if the boat's being stored long term. Stack pack's in good shape. You can see there's an array of solar panels here on the coach roof. That provides plenty of power to the boat, keep the batteries topped off. That's normally enough to run the refrigeration, the electronics if you're underway. You'll notice all the control lines are led back to the cockpit, either port or starboard side, and there's electric winch on the port side. It's a very unique arrangement here. You'll notice there's a spinnaker pole on the front of this boat. That's designed so when you're sailing dead downwind, you can wing out the Genoa sheet. So the boat will sail wing on wing quite easily, or even just really broad reaching and using that as a fair lead to take the, what's called a barber hauler, to take the clew of the Genoa out away from the mainsail to get better flow when sailing downwind. Nice old cruiser's trick. That's the kind of thing you see on a boat that's been owned by an experienced sailor. Up here, you can see the boom's in great shape. This compression strut here, this helps support the boom when the mainsail's not up, along with the topping lift. Great access to the stack pack. Very easy to simply unzip, stuff in the reef lines, or get the sail ready to go sailing. The starboard engine compartment, this boat has something that you rarely see, but it has an engine-driven watermaker, which means anytime you're running the starboard engine and you're in clean water, you can also make water. That's what that compressor is right there. There's a switch inside that actuates an electrical clutch that turns that on, and you're making water. Great feature for a cruising yacht. But the Salon table is nicely fitted. It's secure. It actually goes up and down. Right now it's at coffee table height, but it can be raised up to dining table height. These leaves simply open up. We got a little material here to protect it, but you can see the teak's in excellent condition. There's leaves that pull out here to secure the sides as it comes up. It's really a nice feature in this boat. You got a nice open salon area. This is leather upholstery. It's in excellent condition. Been very well cared for. It's the kind of the detail you see and the care on a one-owner boat. The galley is very nicely appointed. You've got this great Corian type of material on the counters. Looks like granite. It's nicely finished, it's in great shape, there's no nicks or scrapes. You can see the wood finish around the bar is in great shape. This is nice, you can set up a couple bar stools here, have a couple drinks, great place to have breakfast and a cup of coffee. You got a top loading freezer here. You're not going to use that terribly often, so it's not really going to encumber any of your counter space once you take your frozen items out. There's a fridge down here, both these units are 12 volt. You got a dish drying rack, sink, nice area to secure some condiments, 4-burner propane stove, separate oven. You got spaces here for cooking utensils and bowls and things. Loads of secured storage up around there. Here there's a small microwave. Some people put shelving in this space. I've even seen people put ice makers there. This is the fridge compartment. Nicely secured, clean, good shape. Going down this way, you have the port forward guest cabin. Going down in this passageway, you have the port aft guest cabin. Both these are double berths, so you can sleep 2 people there together. And in the middle is a separate toilet and shower compartment. It's Jack and Jill, so you can access it from either side or walk through. So that's a shared head. So this is a 3-cabin, 2-head layout. Here at the Nav Station, we've got a flat screen TV and SSB radio. This is highly desirable for cruisers for long range communications and downloading things like weather charts. You got a clearly labeled chart area and control panel. Here you've got the inverter and charger control. Over here 110 volt power. This is all US spec. The boat was built in South Africa for these owners with all US propane, US power, and holding tanks. Unique feature here is how easily accessible the electrical panel is. Totally easy access. You can see how nice and cleanly it is fit, and a rotary autopilot. Unique. Alright, so in the starboard hull, in the back of the Voyage 440, is a stand-up shower. You got a shower wand here, a mixer there. Really plenty of space to take a shower. And it's a dry head, so it keeps the sink basin and the toilet area dry. This is highly desirable with cruisers. And a really unique feature about this boat, I'm going to show you later, but it's in this area. Alright, we're in the starboard hull. We're going forward. In this area, there's a owner's desk area. So this owner's got some very detailed records of the boat, some maintenance records, a whole box of manuals here. EPIRB is kept in this space. They've got additional storage. And just look at this, there's loads of cabinet space here for hanging lockers. It's not terribly deep, but you've got the space, and it makes great use of a compartment that otherwise wouldn't be utilized on a boat this size. Forward to the owner's cabin on the starboard side, another locker here with some shelving. Another locker here with some linens in it, lots of storage in the bottom. There's a pump down there for the air conditioning. Then going forward into the owner's cabin, got an elevated berth. There's air conditioning in the boat. You can see the boat has been nicely cared for, it's super clean. You have a space here for some storage. That's where the transducer is. Here you've got another hanging locker with some shelving. And here you've got another locker that goes all the way forward. Alright, we're in the port aft cabin. You got a nice double berth here. Quite a bit of storage. There's storage underneath this compartment, underneath this one, in this cabinet here, here, and there's two cabinets here behind the door. No hanging locker, but enough space if you need it, and you can actually hang a jacket in this space, but we saw some taller ones on the other side. Here you got two cabin fans, air conditioning, overhead hatch. Nice and simple, very clean, easy to look after. Alright, so we're down in the port side head and shower compartment. This is midway between the port forward cabin and the port aft cabin. This is a wet head, unlike the owner's cabin that has a dry head in the shower. And there's some cabinet storage here, a sink back there, and this is set up in a Jack and Jill arrangement, so you've got one head and shower that either the forward or the aft cabin can utilize. Port forward cabin, very similar to the starboard forward cabin, not as much room in between. Large double berth, as we saw on the starboard side. Get some storage here, underneath this compartment, in these two cabinets, and that's about it. So this is a little bit smaller guest cabin with slightly less space, but there's some shelving outside here in the companionway if you need to store some additional items. I've personally spent quite a few nights in this berth on several Voyage 440s, and it's very comfortable. So in the beginning I told you about a unique feature on the Voyage 440 Wind Pony. Check this out. So we're in the owner's head, really nice space, very clean and great shape. This is a locker that the owners have used for additional storage. On this boat, you could also order it new with a small cushion in here if you want to put an individual captain or a child in here. But as you go in here, you'll see that the owner has carefully stored a bunch of spare parts for the boat, a lot of useful stuff. So the owners of this boat have been cruising around the world since they bought it new. But if you have a look in here, you'll be able to see all the great spare parts they have that have been thoughtfully prepared on the boat. So right here, that's where this hatch goes into. This goes into the compartment behind the mirror in the owner's cabin, and this is where I showed you all those spare parts that were located. You also have accessibility to it from the deck. Really nice.